Hey guys, sorry about that. I didn't even realize that time got set to 11:25. So thank you all for waiting so patiently for me. If you're in Discord, you just saw that I had just come across something, and what that is it looks like I'm assuming like a complete knockoff of Million Token. And I think we'd heard this before, jokes around. Oh, sorry. Hi, Jer. Hi, whoever else is in here. We've got 10 people. Okay, good. So I was just taking a look at the top wallet addresses from 2 days ago because, like I mentioned in Discord, there was quite a lot of movement. So the top 4 or 5 wallets all pretty much vaporized, and that one whale address that I had identified became the top holder of Million Token at just 11 million tokens. So I wanted to see where that money went and what happened to those addresses. And as I was taking a look at the second largest address that was from 2 years ago, or from 2 days ago, I'm sorry, I have to apologize. I got my Pfizer shot yesterday and it knocked me out, and I'm still really, really, really tired from it all. But yeah, so I was just taking a peek to see what those wallets held. And so the address that had the second highest number of million tokens 2 days ago is also holding this thing called Billion Token. And curious, I decided to kind of click through and take a look at the contract address on Etherscan, and it looks like there's this entire mirror project developed in Switzerland, perhaps. At this moment, like, my intuition is saying scam, right? Like, I'm sitting here thinking this is somebody who thought, hey, Million Token looked like such a fantastic idea. Let's copy it. They've got a Twitter set up where they've got like maybe 80 followers, but are following 11,000 different accounts. So this thing to me definitely looks suspicious. Just putting it out there so nobody kind of falls for it. But yeah, let's see here. Jared says, also would be good to address liquidity. I also did buy into Million Token, did as well. Can we buy you a new computer? Camera? Yeah. So this is just I'm working off of my laptop that I got from Costco for $200, and I'm using the webcam that is attached. So yeah, thanks, Ethan. But okay, so Million Token, we are down in price again. Whenever the comments go, I just start looking at them. And, I can just feel the level of worry and uncertainty and doubt within the Discord community start boiling up, right? Like, I can see that we need whales. We need more people. We need an influencer, and kind of all this like energy jumping around. And I just kind of wanted to like chat about kind of like the psychology of investing in a social token such as this, because like it's very different than investing in, say, like a blue chip stock that has earnings potential behind it, that pays out dividends and everything like this. Like, what we're doing here is very new, and I want to say it's new, but it's also kind of not new, right? We've got other crypto coins and projects that have been launched, right? Of course, MMM is 100% scam. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, beware of the other scam coins out there. The Billion Token one, though, it looks really flashy. Like, pretty much the site is a complete knockoff of Million Token, and instead of a lion, they now have a panther that is their mascot. So yeah, but I tried to see whether or not it was even trading for a price, but I don't see any price. So I don't know what's exactly going on with that. Again, I just took a peek at that pretty much 5 minutes before coming on here, and yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I mean, I'm so curious about million token from the social experiment. And like, we all have to keep in mind, like, this is what it has been labeled as, right? Like Patrick is very clear, like, this is a social experiment. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, comments. I gotta, I don't know, cover up the comments somehow so that I don't keep looking at them. There we go. Well, now I missed you guys. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so like I identified yesterday, there was a whale buyer that came in. And the reason why I'm talking about whales is that I think we've got to distinguish between someone who is invested in the project, wants to bring their capital, and is in it for the long run, or someone like a whale that is dropping a lot of money into the coin, hoping that when that price skyrockets, because it will, like if you have $500,000 that you're pumping into a million token, and that's what this buyer had, right? The account purchased over 11,000 and kind of purchased a few more through over the day. It had 12,000 million token. Maybe I did the math wrong. No, that's, anyway. Okay, so when you see that kind of like splash, people are going to say, oh, it's taking off, we got to jump in. And that's where more like smaller investors like, yeah, we're going to jump in. But if the whale is already in there, pretty much anyone that purchases after that whale jumps in, as soon as that whale pulls out, that's going to take away all of the investments and kind of all that position that the new people jumped in at. So I'm just going to take a peek at the comments, because you guys do know that I am looking at the comments, obviously. So if you have anything to say, go ahead and drop it in there. I am watching. And we saw this happen, right? So this is what I'm seeing, like the major price action is happening from these accounts that are coming in, dumping a whole lot of money into million token. We see the price go up. We all start getting jazzed. And then they disappear, like literally within 24 hours. And here we are again today. We're like, oh man, now we're in the low 40s. What's going on? And to anyone who's not seeing this happen, all they're seeing is this really bumpy ride. And we're seeing lower lows, right? Less higher highs and lower lows. And that kind of is this, you know, when anyone's looking at technical analysis, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see these lower highs and lower lows. And it looks like this, you know, we're going down. John Anderson says, marry me, I'm lead simp. What is this simp thing? I feel like I am missing out on this whole idea of a simp. What is a simp? But thank you. Great job, by the way. So I guess what I wanted to address on here was when I'm taking a look at Discord and I'm seeing all these people say, oh, we need more whales, we need more people with money, we need more investors. I kind of feel like we need to get down to our grassroots and figure out what we truly are as a community. We have this token that has very hard tokenomics, right? We've got our fixed cap. I love that everything is power of 10. Okay, so a simp is a guy who falls in love with online personalities. Well, that's a stretch if you think I'm an online personality, but thanks. To me, like, I like the community. I'm totally in it for the social experiment of this all and just the research side of things. This isn't the first, you know, coin project that has hit the markets. There's so many of them out there. And I think there really is a psychological and, you know, emotional side of investing that these tokens and these projects are appealing to. And so I'm a curious person. I am super interested to see the evolution of a coin like this. But that said, you know, when I think, oh, we need more whales, I don't think we need more whales, because this is just going to create more of this up and down, more of this like roller coaster that, you know, keeps us all up at like, or at least keeps me up at night, right? Like it makes, you know, when you go on the ups and downs, it kind of makes you sick after a while. So I do know that it's important that we're all like protecting our mental health over this. And, you know, that's the other thing too, is like knowing that we really need to not be putting more on the line than would allow us, or we can't be putting so much on the line that it's keeping us from sleeping at night. And so the other 100K should be our goals. That would be, yeah, right? Like who knows where this will go. But I guess getting back to it all is that, yeah, figuring out kind of what our community is, what it means if you are a million token holder, and those side of things. So more people will slowly and surely discover the Tech Leads videos. It's true. I have to say though that like there is a huge barrier to entry in terms of buying million token. I had my own crypto accounts and I'd followed Tech Lead, but when he announced the coin, it still took me at least, another hour worth of research, signing up for like another wallet and figuring out how to actually buy. So for some of the people that are already in the space, maybe it made a lot of sense and was easy. Maybe you've already had, ERC20 tokens that you've invested in or have used Uniswap. But for anyone who hasn't, for anyone who's only basically been trading or holding or buying crypto off of main exchanges, there's a lot of extra steps to go through. Plus, there's a lot of FUD where it's like, oh, this is going to be a rug pull or this is just a scam. So, Shiba went hard after Binance listening. Actually, okay, so thanks for bringing up Binance, because what I wanted to say was I think what we saw in terms of that price action in mid-July had a lot to do with whales injecting their own money in, making other people get FOMO, right? It's like, oh my gosh, well, we've got this brand new token. There's all these exciting things happening. It's gonna, we've got the Binance Smart Chain thing coming up, all these different pieces like 8.io listing. And because there's all this hype, because there's all this excitement, that's what makes people buy. And so add into that some large, whale holders that are injecting a lot of money into it, it's going to create this like price pressure. And then people are going to start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm missing out. I need to buy. And then it reaches a point where the whales are like, okay, we have now collected all of these people that bought in during, all this money. And then they start pulling out. And that's really what we saw. So I think we saw a lot of volume on the hype about getting listed on the Binance Smart Chain. I got super excited and FOMO'd all in. I did too, right? So like I bought really early on, but I had been like buying as the price went up. I even bought at 190. So like I certainly didn't just put some money in and, diamond handed it. Totally not, right? Like I bought in at 2, I bought in at 11, I bought in at 39, 90, and then 190. So, yeah. Anyway, I also feel like I have pretty much spent a lot of money in F and gas fees in doing all of this too. So that sucked. But where was I going to say? Yeah, so I think in terms of like, will we see another like big hype? Perhaps when we start getting closer to getting listed on some of the exchanges, we might see more of that like excitement. And then we might see whales be like, hey, we know that Million Token is, has some exciting news coming up, right? Oh, if it's listed on Binance, then maybe there'll be a lot more investors. And we might see some more of this, volume. And that, when we start seeing big candles and big buy-ins, that should be our clue that these are some whales that are hoping to buy in on the hype and will likely be pulling out after whatever it is, right? And we saw that too, like pretty much like right before the Binance Smart Chain thing was finalized, that's when we started seeing the price decrease. Binance has serious whales, yeah. So Binance, the Binance Smart Chain, in the analysis that I've been doing and taking a look at wallets, I'm actually surprised. So on the Binance Smart Chain, I finally have taken a look and I've seen like, oh, okay, here's all the wallets held over there. And they're small, right? Like they're in the 600 million token range is like some of their bigger holders. And in total, there's only about 20,000 million tokens held across all of the wallets on the Binance Smart Chain. So that's quite that, I think I was expecting there would be more. I truly did. And I know that like I've had a lot of people tell me gas fees are way less on the Binance Smart Chain. So that's probably where I should be buying my million token. But yeah, so overall, in terms of additional wallet addresses, additional investors, it's really been a small percentage that the Binance Smart Chain has added to million token holder accounts and positions as well. How much do you have? Okay, so this is what I actually wanted to get to. Binance has serious whales. Gas fees still high. I'm just going to take a quick look at the comments. If there's anything? No. Okay, I don't see anything there. So okay, so how much million token do I have? So here's what I want to tell you guys. So yesterday, when I identified that there was that whale, and that whale at that time was the largest million token holder, and this was sometime in the afternoon, and I just knew that, and I had actually bought in at the $39 mark when it hit $39 2 days ago. And when I saw the whale, who has a history of buying in, selling 24 hours later, buying in, selling 24 hours later, when I saw that person bought in again, I actually sold. So I sold yesterday at 46. Now, before you guys like scream at me, this is because I just had a feeling that whale was going to sell. And so I am going to be buying back in, but this is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, what we can do as a community. So I know that like with Bitcoin, we typically see, say like, what is it? The whale, yeah, like when there's a big purchase made. I am curious to know if there is anyone in the million token community that would potentially want to develop some sort of project that allows us to watch for whale accounts such as this. And it would be a combination of, just, scrubbing through some of the data and seeing which addresses typically do this, or look for certain signs of, I want to call them, there's whales, but in this case, it also feels like predators in some regard, right? They're going to toss in a whole lot of million token, hope others buy, and are only going to leave right away. So, in terms of that community thing, is there something that we can create that alerts the other lions that like, oh, hey, here's an account that has a history of buying in and less than 24 hours later, selling? Those are sort of the things that I'm thinking in terms of like a social token or a social community that there would be an advantage. Whale hunters. Yeah, whale hunters. There you go. The lions are hunting the whales. But it's actually kind of an interesting idea, because like lions work in packs, right? And so why wouldn't we want to, do what we can in terms of like, protecting the pack in a way? Last Discord had a whale hunter section. There's whale alerts for Bitcoin, also liquidators. True. So I guess what I was thinking, for when it comes to whale alerts for Bitcoin, a lot of the times it's a lagging indicator, right? You just find out in your Twitter, oh, there was a big whale, and what can you do about it? They've already made their splash. For me, I'm thinking, I'd be curious to like be able to help identify accounts that are coming in that will, might likely have that tendency to, 24 hours, 48 hours, pull out their position, because I feel like that will allow us to gauge, our understanding of whether or not it feels like the right time to buy in or not. So talk to Discord admins. Yeah. Anyway, so that's this. And I guess what I was also going to say is that like, I've been doing this like, okay, I bought in at 11, 39, 90, and 190. So like my cost base ended up being huge. And was talk to Discord. Yeah. And so it's not like I'm sitting here. I feel like I'm in it with all of you guys. There's not like I bought it $2 and I'm just sitting pretty and like it's so easy for me to talk because I bought it too. I didn't. Like I did dollar cost average, and in the end, like it's not like there was this huge profit. I'm here for the community. I'm here for the learning. I'm here for the social experiment of it all. Yeah, you can buy whenever you want since you want to go to the moon. I also feel like, there's this, because we are in a little bit of a, well, I shouldn't say a little bit, but like, because this is something new, this is kind of a social experiment. What I'm also getting from this is like, investor sentiment and how, the psychology of what we see in terms of price action, how it changes investors, whether or not, they buy, sell, hold, different things like that. The other thing that I think is really kind of brilliant about Million Token is that it kind of is like Bitcoin in a sense, right? Like, except, people say, Bitcoin has these use cases. Oh, general, hey, people, curious how many coin do you have? So with Bitcoin, right? Like, it was going to be the currency. It was going to be all these things. It was going to be all these different things. But truly, I haven't seen a lot of that come to fruition, if that makes any sense. And, you've got all these other different crypto projects that we need a use case. Yeah, exactly, right? Like we're sitting here feeling we need a use case. Without a use case, we don't have anything. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of other crypto projects out there that, have some stated use case that might not have actually like followed through yet. Does that make any sense? That like, yeah, anyway, we need a use case. All right. So my head is like scrambled. We have a brand, use case, inflation hedge. Yeah, like, so I last night had like massive fever, like shakes and everything like that. And I was just thinking in my head what level is it that investors are going to look at Million Token and be like, this is a good buy again? Do you know what I mean? What do you think? Low volume? Yes, about volume. Yeah, I think the low volume is the indication that we don't have that predatory action of people trying to jump in, pump the price, and then dump it, right? Like we know tech leads not pumping and dumping, but we can't stop any other random investor from coming in and pumping and dumping. Okay, unless we can promote the coin and bring more people into the maintain 100 plus trade volume naturally, the future doesn't look very bright. Tech lead alone does not seem to hold enough popularity to increase holder count significantly at this point. Okay, well, I still think that there's more stuff for the coin, right? Like, I also think about, we've got our Doge, our Shiba. What is it that they have that is attracting investors? Like, to me, they have investors. So, okay, great. So they have more people injecting capital into that project. We do have 51 in here. That's right. Right. So we've got with Shiba and Doge, they are somehow attracting people into this depreciating asset. And, I think for all of us Million Token holders, we find that very confusing. So this is part of what I am curious about. What is it about these social tokens that will like attract some investors and some other investors won't look at the project? Because when you look at, our tokenomics compared to Doge, Shiba, or any of the other ones, like ours are the strongest. And you would think that this would be a way to, attract more. Doge and Shiba have perceived moonshot potential. So Doge and Shiba are in the same spot as us. Like, I guess I've heard some people feel that Elon Musk is going to allow Doge for, it's Elon. Yeah, right. And it's kind of confusing because like even that isn't guaranteed. Doge went years before it blew up. You never know what will be the spark. People want to get rich overnight. We're only one fold. Only few patients will become millionaires from Million Token. And you know what? General crypto, like, you're exactly right. It is hard to believe like we are 1 month old, and that is the psychology of investors. Investors do want to get rich overnight. And I think part of our, super success in the first 2 weeks is also going against us at this point, where people were, when they see, oh, well, it went from $1 to $2.20 in 2 weeks, and now it's decreasing, right? There's that like, well, we want that to happen again. And I don't think we're going to see that happen again unless we've got some, exciting new use case, or that we are more easily able to be traded, whether that's being listed on a more popular exchange than just using a Uniswap. What's the use of painting or a fish tank? Right? It's like the beauty, the collectible nature of it, right? And that's where we can also start thinking like, what is the million community? What do we have to offer, right? Like, I know it was the, what was it? The, coronavirus, we can't travel, but like, as millionaires, is there somewhere that we want to, similar to say like the Bitcoin conference, right? Is there like a million token conference that we want to create? Do you have an exit strategy? No, not really. My strategy is to only invest as much as I am willing to not need or willing to lose. And so then it's just a matter of staying in the community. He mentioned Huobi a few videos ago. Interesting. Yeah, more memes, more visible fun. No, we're all creating it, right? And I think that's the part too that Tech Lead is really stressing, is that it is all of our community. It is so new. It's a month old, right? Dogecoin was invented back, December 2013? It's been around for years. And I don't doubt that the devs of that project were having similar conversations that we did here. One of the things that I was talking about with another line in our community was the idea of, is there a way to have some sort of, economic, I guess what I was more thinking is merch, right? Like there's merch out there. But what if we're putting all of the profits from, official million token merch straight back into million token, whether that is, I know people are talking about a marketing wallet, but what if we just have like a foundation wallet where any of the profits that we receive from, say, any of these like, whether that's selling merch or whatever it is we might do, that then goes into a wallet that is just locked up. Million will work in cycles. Don't exit until you get what you want. The $1 floor will keep vaulting the price back up. And yeah, so anyway, I thought that was, and I think there might be like legal issues in terms of, I know like this is a social experiment. We don't want to start looking like a security. We don't want to start, any of that. But it really was that idea of, something where we all start to benefit if there is a wallet that basically it almost becomes like a burn wallet, but the tokens are never going to disappear. But we know that the tokens will always stay locked up. So, we've got basically this ultimate holder account, right? Doge partnered with Reddit bots for tipping. It was a really great idea and made access super easy. Easy access is key. This stream is helping the community grow. Well, thank you. We're team lead to do, yeah, exactly. We can't expect team lead to do everything. It is a community, more professionally made merch that actually looks cool. Is this the wallet Tech Lead and 5 other admins got on? No, this was a separate idea that I had myself, because thinking of like, how do we attract capital into the million token ecosystem, right? And so that was where, if we had an official, merchant provider where all of the profits were automatically reinvested into million token via a, like a foundation wallet or something like that, right? It's very similar. Like we all see that million token went from 1 million tokens, but right now we actually have 999 $1,999 because I guess, I don't know, did someone send 1 million token to like a non-existent address and we lost it? Will you sell your million at 200? I think everyone should be taking profits at 200. Like not all, like don't sell out. But if we ended up doing that again, for sure, like if you got in at $20 a coin and million token jumps up to 200, at least take out your initial investment. And then the rest is all gravy. This doesn't help. Okay, another thing to TechLead was just bashing at. TechLead also said crypto was a scam and has lots of dollars on this space. This doesn't help draw investors. Yeah, I think like there's going to be also just an aspect of not leaving, right? Like as long as million token exists, right? A year from now, people are like, oh yeah, million token was that coin. It's still around. It's not a scam. There is a community. It is growing, right? Oh, we're, planning to do these cool things or come out, hang out. Like, I think there's a future in that in terms of like community is huge, having people that, are able to connect with other people, especially coming out of this whole coronavirus thing where we've all been locked down, right? Like that's really the value of community. It will exist. Like it totally is going to exist a year from now. Are you TechLead's ex-wife? No, I'm not TechLead's ex-wife. Doesn't she live in Japan or something like that? I don't know. The community is the asset here. Totally. Volume is essential. If we will die a crypto slow death if we can't get the volume up. Okay, so speaking of that, there is going to be a value in which it makes so much sense to everybody to buy back in, right? When you hear of people that bought in early and you're thinking, oh, that was a obvious thing. We all should have just done that, right? If it ever dropped down to $5, there's going to be people who are like, hey, this is actually kind of a no-brainer. I'm going to get back in. Do you see what I mean? Like there's always going to be this level. Plus there's going to be the lions that are holding, right? So that's where like we might not have seen the bottom yet of this cycle. We truly might not have. And that bottom's going to come when we reach the number of holders that are like, we're just not selling, right? Like we're not selling, we're not going anywhere. And the price stabilizes and more people start buying in than are selling. And that's when we're going to see the price go up. I think we would like to see a more steady growth versus, this injection of a whole bunch of capital and a whole bunch of million token all bought up at once, because those are the kind of investors that I also think are just going to pull out all at once, right? When someone's throwing in $500,000, you have to imagine that that is going to be money that they may need and are probably trying to make a profit off of, right? If we all start taking more of a approach that we are only putting in money that we don't need, that we can afford to lose, that we're here for the community, that we want to support TechLead, we want to be involved in the creation of this social token, then I think we're going to all have a lot more fun time. But if people are buying in because they're looking for a fast, quick moonshot, meanwhile, you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other crypto out there that's increasing, people are going to start thinking, oh man, why am I holding this million token? It's only going down. Well, everything else is going up, right? What's million tokens real competition? And pretty much any of the other coins that are increasing. And because I think if people are buying into million token because they're looking at it purely from a investments point of view and they're wanting to, double, triple, quadruple their price, well, that's not what million token's doing right now. Why did the teddy bear say no to dessert? Because she was stuffed. I actually do really like dad jokes, so I find that funny. Without big news influence, the pump will be slow and steady, but it'll happen eventually. Yeah, and again, it's if you have any friends that are interested in it, I think the safest thing we can be doing is really saying this isn't an investment. You know, even though Tech Lead is saying this is the moonshot of 2021, like please don't put more in than you can afford to, if that makes any sense. Did I just see someone say Zoom party? Who said a Zoom party? We should do a Zoom party. Why did I honestly feel that Uniswap is no good for a million token. Too much dependency on liquidity pool management. It could be, right? Like I haven't even figured out the liquidity pool thing. I wanted to put some in and just learn, right? To me, it's a one big learning experience, but I couldn't even figure that out. And so, yeah, sad about that. What can be built on top of million token? I don't know. I wonder if like, you know, Patrick's thinking about that in terms of, you know, what there can be in the future. You know, I think social causes are also really big, right? Like if there's the ability to tie, say, holding crypto to also being able to support important causes around the world, I think people will also be interested in something like that. A monthly Zoom party. I could go for a monthly Zoom party, guys. I think that would be a lot of fun, Renzo. Maybe we should do this up. Should we make a Zoom party? Should we see if like Tech Lead would be interested in coming to a monthly Zoom party with us? Okay. Let's all buy another 100 million. It's so cheap right now. It is cheap. Don't put anything in liquidity pool. Bigger liquidity pool makes it harder for us to pump. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I would love to have somebody explain more about I know that there's stuff online that says, hey, this is how you do the liquidity pool, but I would be interested in the analysis of it, as well as like, oh, okay, so the price just traded outside of the liquidity, whether that was up or down, and how that impacts our actual price and how much, you know, the management side of that. I made dollars, but lost those because of it going down, but it's an impairment loss, or stock market terms is called an unrealizable loss. So Ray, so Ray said that he made money with the liquidity pool, but lost the dollars because of it going down to an impairment loss. So is that because you made million token when it was trading at a higher value? So great, let's say you made 1 million token off of your liquidity pool and it was trading at $50. And then the price dropped down to, let's say, 40. Is that what you're talking? Like you actually lost $10 as a result? Or did you actually, are you net negative as a result? So I think being behind the price is a good technique overall, which is counterintuitive. Yeah, okay, I'm getting a huge no from Ray. No? Okay, in liquidity, okay, so million token Turkish. In liquidity pool, you end up getting whatever is valued less. So if we moon, you get more USDC. If we crash, you get more million. So the reason is because it averages out your high and low values. Part of the reason for the pump to 200 was the low liquidity. There were not many liquidity providers willing to sell at low prices. He didn't close the pool. LMAO. Who didn't close the pool? But that is interesting on like that having low liquidity makes it go higher. If price goes high, USDC, if it crashes, you get more million token automatically buying it at average of high and low prices. Okay, so yeah, I kind of understood that. Like you're supposed to set a range that you will be receiving minor fees for, transaction fees. And then if the price goes above that, you'll be paid out in USDC. If the price goes below that, you'll be paid out a million token. The best case for liquidity providers is stable prices. If the price goes up too much or down too much, it causes an impermanent loss. Okay, that's where you can lose dollars. And so if I had set, say, a liquidity pool between $45 and $35, and we trade in that range for a week, am I able to then take out the profits of that, or do I take out my million token again? Think of liquidity pool as a substrate that we have to swim through. Either way, it's easier to swim if the pool is smaller. Interesting. And so I was looking at just like the Uniswap charts, and it looked like we had about $5 million of liquidity locked up. Is that right? Whoever went out of range, you're supposed to close before you have an impermanent loss. Less liquidity in million token equals higher price respectively. Less liquidity in USDC crashes million token because everyone is milking million token to death. Okay. Liquidity below the price helps push the price up because there's more certainty you could sell if you wanted, and that dump would not tank the price as much. Interesting. So that's it. Okay, okay, I'm incredibly interested in the liquidity pool side of things because this is like a missing piece to the analysis. Of course, we can see, you know, when wallets sell and when wallets buy, but I have noticed that whatever value is in the liquidity pool, and now I'm looking at this, seeing that it's not just the value, but it's also the trading ranges also impact the price. Usually want the liquidity to be around 10% of the total market cap. Okay, so we're actually a little bit over that then. If our price is trading around 40 and we've got 5 million in the liquidity pool. Okay, we actually need $1 to 2 million of liquidity beneath the $40 price target in our voice chat discussions for us to pump higher. All right, I'm wondering if we need to like be a little bit more strategic with our liquidity pool and how we're handling that. I'm also curious, when say I have 1,000 million token in a wallet and I say I want to put some into the liquidity pool, would that result in my wallet address dropping from, say, 1,000 to 900 if I put 100 million token into the liquidity pool? Or would my wallet address still reflect at 1,000 million token? Anybody could help me out with that? Okay. And then where is that 1,000 million token reflected? Is that in the Uniswap? You can pull it back out if traded within range. These were crazy. So let's go back to that example. Say I put $100, because I noticed that we've got 3 different Uniswap addresses, like Uniswap MM, Uniswap MM2, Uniswap MM3. Okay, so liquidity should be more USDC and less million token to stabilize the price, but liquidity providers are pumping passive income and tanking prices. Interesting. And match with USDC or ETH. But theoretically, the 100 million token is in Uniswap pool of liquidity. Okay. All right. This is something that I do completely want to take a look at more. But as for, you know, the price and what we're trading at, I'm just going to take a quick look at where, I can't right now. But yeah, so I think what we need to do is we need to like start thinking longer term and not just short term, getting super excited. We all have seen the like super skyrocket, you know, moon attempt. And yeah, I think we need longer term investors that are more here for the community and not just here for the profits. And if we can build that community, if we can make this something interesting, that there are some benefits, then I think we'll start to grow, and we'll start to grow hopefully slowly and not, you know, with these things. Of course, if we have some exciting news coming up, whether that's getting listed on a major exchange, I think we can also expect that that hype is going to be back, and I think we might see that volume return. But I'd caution that it could also be temporary again. Okay. All right, guys. I feel like I've been talking for almost 45 minutes, and I have been. You're selling your car to buy more million token. Well, Abel, do you have another car that you are going to be able to use in the meanwhile? Because none of this is financial advice, but I do think that we need to be sure that we're growing this community slowly and steadily and smartly, and not that we're just dumping a lot of money in, hoping for that moonshot. I do think we'll grow. I completely think we'll grow as well. I think what might happen is that Dogecoin, Shiba Coin, I think the prices might start decreasing, and I think people might start cluing in that their positions are eroding on them because of how many coins are minted almost daily in those two projects. And at that point, they might be looking for something different, and they might be looking for something that's not going to erode their, position. So maybe we can, bring them over here. Right now, this is the biggest discount I could have ever imagined. Yeah, I definitely remember thinking, especially when we started going up, like, wow, why didn't I buy more when it was $39? That would have been super obvious. Yeah, so Omic contact, I put in 6,000 at 114, still hodling. I feel for you, bro. I feel for you guys too, guys. And 40 is the beaches of Normandy, people. We all got to rise to our best. Thanks, Mr. DeVries. Slow burn, dollar cost average, more community projects in the meantime. Totally. That's what I think we should focus on. And I'm happy to be here, happy to, support the Lion community. I think it's really interesting. I am super curious to see what happens with this social project. I find it curious that some people will look at this and say, oh, it's just a pump and dump, or oh, it's a scam, where so many other crypto projects are essentially this, but with, these hopes and dreams that, truly may never come to fruition. So I kind of do like the direct transparency of Million Token, where it's like, here's the tokenomics and let's grow this. Let's do this together, guys. Okay, I think I'm going to cut this off. I will see you guys all in Discord. I'm always watching, seeing what's going on. And yeah, I'll see what I can do. I haven't taken a look at what's happened in between the wallets from yesterday to today. So if there's anything interesting, I will definitely pop that into Discord, or maybe I'll just make a quick little video. I do also really want to caution people about that billion token project. If you guys have any more information on that, let me know. Just message me on Discord. I am very curious, because I can see that being a trap for a lot of people. Maybe like, oh, this is the next million token, and if I get in early enough, that they may be able to have that like quick moonshot that some of us saw early in the beginning. Casey Adams, I bought in at $1.30, only put in $700. I had 10K available, kicking myself. Casey, you and I are in the same position, but I think we also only put in $700 was smart, because we want to be putting in money that we are okay to lose, that we don't need right away, because nothing is guaranteed. Anyway, okay. Okay, guys, I will see you later. Have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon, and yeah, and go enjoy the lake or wherever you are with a paddleboard. Paddleboards for everybody. Maybe that's what we should do, is like a paddleboard giveaway. Anyway, so nobody will be tempted to cash out their million tokens for paddleboards like I was. Anyway, okay. See you guys.